So I suppose the next question, Brian, is what are some of the key philosophies behind cynical optimism? What are the key beliefs or ideas behind it?
But the biggest belief is bring your sense of humor to your problems. That's the biggest one, okay? Basically, to be able to laugh in the darkness, to not take yourself too seriously, to have a bit of fun with things, to realize that life is crap, but you can get through. Just get to the fuck it factor and say, fuck it. I'm getting through, I'm getting on, I'm going to move beyond that. And that's really, it's that attitude is the key core drive of all of this, is that no matter how crap it is, you can get through, especially if you bring your sense of humor, especially if you shine that level of kind of cynicism, basically with that tinge of optimism, you'll always get through.
Like for us, when we thought about cynical optimism, we're literally going over the way in which we've learned to use tools like NLP and other psychological approaches to be able to help us see things differently, to ensure that it's not just about techniques, it's an entire attitude, a way of life, a way of thought that lets us see things differently. A lot of people are turned off by self-help because it's full of smiley, happy faces that are like always happy. And that just doesn't feel legitimate or real or authentic. Not to say that there aren't some people like that, but it doesn't feel as authentic. And so for us, we've always been true to that. Like me and you know, we've been, friends for 25 years now, or nearly 25 years. We have experienced a lot of different types of people, worked with a lot of different kinds of clients, been traveled together and stuff, and worked in different countries. And out of all the work we've done, the people that we tend to appeal to the most, I think, are the ones that are not just going to buy into the happy clappy movement. They need to think for themselves, they need to think differently, and they need to be able to challenge the status quo. And I think that's one of the things that our book tends to put forward.
The reality is that, one of the things that I know we're both sort of on the same page with, that in order for you to change anything, you have to first be in rapport with yourself. You got to start where you are, not where you think you should be. You got to start where you are. So if you want to be happy and you're miserable, you got to start with the miserable point, not with the happy point. Basically, you got to recognize that this is where I am. So I'm stuck, I'm lonely, I'm frustrated, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm fearful, whatever it is. You got to hit that head on. You got to begin to find out where you are and work from that emotion. And there's stepping stones in that emotion. Basically, before you can get to think smarter, to think more usefully, the things that we talk about, basically, you have to find out, like, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm stuck. This is how bad it is. We had a good thing that we often done after seminars, right? And we'd both give ourselves space for it. You would go off on a rant, okay? And you'd go for a 10-minute rant, basically, and you'd say in between, listen, Brian, I know I'm completely wrong about this, but I need to do this, yeah? And basically, so we would just stop, let you off in your rant. It could be my turn the next day type of thing. But you go off on a rant with all your distortions and all your incorrect assumptions, everything that was wrong with it. But once you got through it, then you'd vented it, then you could go, okay, well, I was a bit unreasonable there. And then we get reasonable again. It's the whole point is that you were triggered, you had an emotion, you had to release the emotion, and sometimes the emotion is not what you want to say, but it's what needs to be said or what needs to be released.
In that rant, it wasn't just a simple rant, it was exaggerated. So it was as heightened as possible. And in many ways, that's one of the remedies for it, is that when you take something that you're pissed off about and you blow it over the top, so ridiculously over the top, it develops a sort of an ironic or a humorous quality to it, which makes it so that it's very difficult for us to feel bad about that after that, because we've blown it out of proportion.
A lot of people, unfortunately, get caught in their problems and they don't actually think through their problems. They're smart enough to think through them, but very often they listen to what someone else says to get through them, basically, and that stops them. The very fact, I should be doing this, or this is the way to change that, basically. And one of the things that we say, even in her book, that basically we do offer you advice, but the best advice is your own advice a lot of the time. Sometimes you need some advice, some input, whatever. But a lot of times you think your way through your problems, and that's really part of it.